U.S. history in 5 minutes. Yeah, right. It sounds completely impossible, doesn't it? Well, that's kind of the point. Today, we're not just going to try to summarize history, we're going to unpack the fascinating and, frankly, really complicated challenge of how we even choose to tell these stories in the first place.
So let me just ask you straight up. If you only had 300 seconds on the clock to tell the entire story of the United States, what would you pick? What events, what people, what ideas make the final cut? Think about it, because your answer says a lot about what you think really matters.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll dig into why this is such an impossible task. Then, we'll try to build a basic timeline and, more importantly, see what gets left on the cutting room floor. After that, we're actually going to attempt it, the 5-minute chronicle, and then we'll wrap up by talking about why these summaries, for better or worse, actually matter.
All right, let's dive into Section 1, the impossible task. See, the problem isn't just that there's not enough time. The real problem is choice. Squeezing centuries of history into a few minutes is an act of storytelling, and every single choice you make has a ripple effect.
And this is really the heart of it all. A summary isn't just a list of facts, not at all. It's a narrative, and the storyteller, whether it's your history teacher, a documentary filmmaker, or, us right now, is choosing a plot, they're choosing main characters, and they're choosing a theme. They're crafting one specific version of the past.
So, how does this actually play out? Well, to create any summary, you have to start with a backbone, a timeline of events that pretty much everyone would agree are foundational to the whole story.
Let's call these the non-negotiables. You know what I mean. These are the giant, earth-shaking turning points, the moments so huge that if you left them out, the story would just feel, well, wrong. They're the historical landmarks we all kind of recognize.
So what are we talking about here? Well, typically, it's the nation's founding, right? Its most painful internal conflict, a world-changing economic collapse, a massive global war that made it a superpower, and of course, the ongoing struggle to live up to its own founding ideals. This right here, this is the skeleton of the story.
But here it is. This is maybe the most important part of this whole explainer. If that timeline is the skeleton, what about all the flesh and blood? What about everything that doesn't make it into that 5-minute version?
The scale of what gets left out is it's staggering. We're talking about billions of individual lives. We're talking about all the nuanced political debates, the scientific breakthroughs, the artistic movements, all those quiet, slow-moving social changes that just don't fit onto a timeline of big, flashy events.
And you start to see a pattern pretty quickly. The story we tend to tell focuses on top-down power. Presidents, wars, economic numbers. But what gets pushed to the margins are the bottom-up stories, the histories of indigenous peoples, the lived experiences of countless immigrant groups, and all the grassroots movements that really define the character of a nation.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? A summary, just by its nature, has to simplify this incredibly complex, often clashing chorus of voices into one simple melody. But when we do that, we lose all the harmony, all the dissonance, all the richness of those other voices.
Okay, so we've taken apart the problem. We know what usually gets included, and we know what often gets left out. So now, it's time for the main event. Let's actually try and do it. Let's run the 5-minute chronicle.
So get ready, because this is gonna be fast. Remember, this isn't the full story. This is the highlight reel, the non-negotiables we've been talking about. A super fast journey through those major moments. Ready? Here we go!
A new nation is born, kicking off a revolution based on radical ideas of liberty and freedom, breaking away from the most powerful empire on earth.
A house divided against itself. The country literally tears itself in two over the institution of slavery, ultimately reforging the Union and forever changing the meaning of freedom.
The Roaring Twenties come to a screeching halt. A massive economic catastrophe grips the nation, causing immense suffering and fundamentally rewriting the role of government in people's lives.
Twice in just 30 years, the nation is pulled into colossal global conflicts. It emerges from the second as the world's dominant economic and military superpower.
A second American Revolution begins. Decades of struggle finally boil over, leading to landmark laws that challenge centuries of racial segregation in a fight for the nation's soul.
And then, a technological tsunami. From the PC to the internet, a new revolution completely transforms how we communicate, how we work, and how we live, in ways we are still trying to figure out.
Okay, breathe. We did it.
So what's the point of an insane exercise like that? Well, that brings us to our final section. Why these summaries, with all their problems, still matter.
Look, the key here is that summaries are a total double-edged sword. On the one hand, they give us a shared starting point, a common language. They make a massive topic feel less intimidating. But the danger, and it's a big one, is that they can flatten history, hide all the messy complexity, and make one version of the story feel like the only version.
And if you take one thing away from all this, let it be this. A good summary doesn't give you all the answers. It's not supposed to. A good summary should give you a basic map and, more importantly, make you want to ask better questions, to go searching for the voices that were silenced and the stories that were left out.
So I'll leave you with this final thought, to bring it all back home to you. We've been talking about a nation's history, but what about your own? If you had to summarize your entire life in a single non-negotiable